What's up, party people and magic makers? Destiny here on this fantastic Monday. For those of us in America, it's Labor Day, so happy Labor Day. And so I wanted to really get into this question because I get asked this a lot. And it's actually a question that I don't really care for because I think we are more than what we do. However, it really supports another person in connecting with us and also sharing us, right? And so I help people with a lot of different things. And so it's really difficult for them to figure out, well, what do I tell, my friends that you do? And I get it, right? Like that makes perfect sense in this marketing world that we are a part of. And so I needed to really like figure that piece out so that I could share it. And I know that there are a lot of people that struggle with this because they don't want to be like niched down into this little teeny tiny box, but yet at the same time, they've got to be clear and focused in their messaging and who they're talking to, right? Like it's a fine balance. And so when I was really sitting down and thinking about all of the things that I help people with, the truth of it is like at the very core, it's trusting themselves. It's getting them to a point where they can stand in their own confidence and just know that they know that they know that whatever choice they're going to make is going to work for them. It may not work for other people, but it'll work for them. That this is the decision that is right for them. And I see a lot of business owners, a lot of people, a lot of moms just struggling with that, right? And it came to a head just a couple of days ago. And so I was asked if I wanted to participate in something. And I sat with it for a while. I told them I'd look at the information, right? Like there's a lot of stuff going over Facebook right now, and I was really like, I really don't want to be a part of one more group. That was kind of like, But I told them, you know what? Let me look at the information, and I'll see what that could look like. And then I asked the question. I was like, why would you like me to be a part of this group? Because I hadn't actively looked for it; they had looked for me. And so they gave me their reasons and their examples, and a good chunk of it was like, oh, well, your energy would be phenomenal in the group and all of that good stuff. So I'm reading through it, and it wasn't jiving. It just wasn't jiving with me. And so I just replied back, thank you so much for the offer, and no, I don't want to join the group. And I knew it, like it just in my body, I knew the answer was no. And all I said was, no, thank you, I don't want to join the group. And the person that had invited me to the group was like, well, why not? And I was like, we do that a lot, right? We do that an awful lot where we're asking for the reasons. But the thing is, and I've talked about this in videos before, when it comes to our awareness, there are no reasons. It's just a yes or a no. However, a lot of us dismiss that because we want to people please, or we don't want to hurt somebody, or because we were taught that that's what we needed to do, and that's all the head trash and bullshit that like we learned along the way. Some of us want to go and like do all these things so it proves that we were good enough, especially if it has like the certification at the end of it. Like, look, I was good enough to learn all of this, and now I have a certification to prove how good I am, that I am good enough. And that's not the reason to do something. It's just simply not. Like, that's just bullshit. Now, I'm not saying it can't work out for you, because some of those things will pay off in the future, sure. However, that's not a reason to do something. That you gotta like really sit and make sure that that's something that you want to do. Like, why? Why are you doing this? Why are you really, really like wanting to put this thing in with everything else that you do? Is this something that will serve you? Is this something that will serve your clients, your people, others around you, right? But most importantly, like, do you want to do it? And if the answer is like, yes, I want to do it because, and you're listing a whole bunch of reasons, that's not your awareness, that's your ego talking, right? Your ego comes from not good enough, comes with not good enough, with perfectionism, procrastination. It comes with so many different things that we just, people pleasing, like we just put up with it thinking that that's the way it's supposed to be, and it's just simply not. And so what I really wanted to just address today is like, taking out all of that head trash taking out just all of that shit that's holding you back, all of those bullshit stories that are stopping you from having what you truly want, not what somebody else tells you you should want, not what somebody else wants and you're like, oh, that might look good for me, but what you truly want is so amazing. To have what you want because you want it, to do the thing that you want to do because you want to do it. Not because some bullshit story is running you. Not because you saw some ad on Facebook and you're like, oh, I want to go learn this. Not because you're avoiding something, but because you truly, truly want it. That's where your magic is. That's where your magic happens. And someone was like, well, what if I don't have any magic? Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. You may not necessarily call it magic. Maybe you call it intuition. Maybe you call it something else, but you've got something. You were born with it. And this is where I help you to like take out all of those layers of crap that have been thrown on you, that you've collected along the decades and the years, to go back and shine your magic, yours, not somebody else's, but yours, authentically and the way you want to do it. And that's why I think it's so difficult for me to tell people what I do, because it's different for every person. Every client gets a customized system and a customized way to do it because everybody is different. And the way one person lights up and shines is not the way another person does. And that's okay. I work with that to just unleash and get rid of and move and just have these really amazing conversations where like there's a glee and a giddiness into somebody's voice when they do something that they didn't think they could. And that's what I want for everybody to just know and create new evidence that supports them in getting more of what they really want. That's what we need in this world. We need people living their purpose, their soul's purpose. That's what we need. And so that's what I do when I'm supporting people in getting rid of this bullshit head trash that we've picked up, because we don't need it anymore. We just simply don't. Somewhere along the way we bought that because we decided to be not good enough, or we decided to be a perfectionist, that now we got to keep it. That somehow, oh, we can't just throw it off to the side. Bullshit. Yes, we can. We absolutely can. And it's ours to do that with. Right? Just because we picked it up doesn't mean we got to keep carrying it. Right? So, when it comes down to it, like, the best way that I can say this is that I help people to trust them. To be able to just say, no, I don't want to. And have no other reason but that. Just knowing that you know that just it's not something you want to do. Or quite the opposite. If you're like, yep, that's the thing. That one thing right there where I can really focus on, really move forward, really just excel at, that's what I want to do. And it works both ways. And that's why it's so amazing. But it's all without this ego stuff. Now, that's not to say that the ego is all bad. It's just we get to retrain it. It learns something that we don't need anymore. And it thinks it's doing the right thing, but it's like, kind of a little bit off there. So we can tweak it and retrain it. And that's another part of what I do, is I support you in retraining that. And not in an angry, pissed off, I hate it kind of a way, but in a very like loving and caring way where, it's almost like talking to a child. And that's really our egos, probably about like 6 to 8 years old. Some maybe a little bit older for some. But like talking to it in a way where it can just be like, okay, I don't have to act up. I don't have to pitch a fit. I don't have to throw a tantrum. You got this. Okay. And it just like sits, you go do your thing, instead of like fighting and pushing and screaming and like just having these fits about it. Work with it. And you can do this too. And that's why I love working with my clients, because I teach them how to, so that they don't need me forever. That's like the best part, is I'm like, you got this. You can go forth and conquer. This is you living your life. And like that lights me up to see them. And I'm like, nope, no more appointments. You go do this on your own. And when they do, boom, they create their own magic. It is so amazing for them. And that's truly what I love doing. So hopefully this helps in understanding, like, there's a lot to it. I get it. And it really comes down to like what you want inside. Hey? All right, so that was a long little post there. However, I'll see you next week where we'll dive into more, okay? Peace.